Hi everybody, Tyler here with Sparkle with Tyler, and today we're filming WIP Chat number 20. And we're celebrating the channel has 150 subscribers. So, can you believe it? Anyway, if you're new to the family, welcome. If you've been hanging out with us for a while, welcome back. I feel like this year's it's going so fast, like poof. So, I looked at the calendar this morning and I was just kind of gobstopped. I couldn't really believe that we're a couple days away from the end of January. So, today we're going to be working on a mini canvas from PaintGem. This is the mystery edition box, and I believe it's canvas number 4. So this is, I guess they do them by edition number, so it's edition number 23, canvas 4. I actually did canvases 2 and 3 last night, but I've intentionally not started on this canvas yet, and I've intentionally kept the drill field covered up in case you don't want spoilers. Like if you want to do this kit specifically, but you don't want spoilers because it's a mystery, then I wanted to make sure you had the opportunity to not have spoilers. So spoilers in 3, 2, 1, spoilers. As I am getting settled and I'm getting everything set up for us to actually work, today's small business items are release papers from Crafts with Crashley. We have our putty from Creations Morin. And I think that might be it unless you're going to count our PaintGem Kit and our ArtDot containers. I'm still kind of up in the air whether or not that's a small business. You tell me. But no Firefly Inferno Nano tray today. And I have my 8 placer in my pen just because I don't feel like changing it out. I'm going to be working on Duck Bath after this probably. We'll see. I'm pretty zonked. But yeah, we're working on minis today. Between the announcement of Mini Madness and the chaos that just is life right now, I kind of wanted to pull a mini canvas out for us today, and I really just kind of want to do it because I need a little victory. Now that I've done a few minis on my own, I really am starting to understand why people love minis. They just go really, really fast, and there's kind of this quick serotonin boost and dopamine hit when you finish them, and it's just a different kind of feeling than when you finish a large canvas. Large canvases are like a slow burn, and minis are just this kind of quick, exciting, like almost, they're a couple hours max, right? But they're this just quick one and done. And there's just been a lot of stuff offline and off crafting, so it's not even worth getting into. But it's just been really nice to be able to kind of escape to these little canvases and having something done and complete and positive at the end of the night and know that it's going to be wrapped up in the evening and I can end on a high note. It's been a really good way to feel like I'm doing something positive, like with the end of my day, and know that I'm intentionally carving out some time for self-care and some me time, even if it's just for a little bit. And I like that I can do these for me. I don't necessarily film minis. It's just nice to have something positive at the end of the day. But I will say I am struggling immensely with the drill fields with these drills. I think it's a me issue. But I'm so used to working with tweezers in small places that this has been a fun learning curve. And a practice in being imperfect and enjoying the art of imperfection and embracing it. So that's, I think, been very good for me. But minis have also been good too, because they're going to be a quick way to get completions and canvas completions for 2025. And that's not the goal of me working on them, but it doesn't hurt that they're working towards my completion goals for 2025. You know, like, I'm not going to complain. There's no reason for me to complain. I am definitely looking forward to being able to report back and say I've gotten some canvas completions done at the end of the month, even though my brain has been pretty exhausted. Okay, sorry about that. I needed to do some adjustments. I needed to change my camera. I needed to grab tweezers. I needed a minute to handle some stuff off screen. We are back. And if I recall, we were in the section of the WIP Chat where I was getting ready to catch up on all of last week with you. So starting there, I think my last WIP and Chat was filmed on the 19th or the 20th of last week. And regardless of what day I filmed, last week was a total blur. The 19th, the 20th, it doesn't matter. There's been a continued situation at work, and it is a continuing situation at work that has just taken up most of my professional bandwidth and really sapped me last week. But without dwelling on something negative, the flip side was I was able to really focus last week and dig into getting all of my work travel set for the next several weeks through when I have my surgery. So all my work travel through mid-March is now set through surgery, which is kind of nice to have. It's unrelated to the continuing situation, but it's just nice to have that kind of be settled. I think by feeling so unsettled with what was going on, I tried to figure out something that I could have some positive impact and control over in my work life. And so that was the outcome. So that was a positive thing. I'm going to be doing a ton of travel though. So I'm either going to have to be taking mini kits with me or some really nice little bite-sized kits. I think Zoom Zoom might be a good one to take. You'll be posted, but I'm going to have to get really conscientious about posting and making sure that I am available and at home and just on top of everything in terms of the channel, because there's going to be days I'm not home and I don't want to miss uploading for you guys. So anyway, it feels really good to have something in my schedule set and something at work safe and settled when I was just so sapped by the situation that is not feeling safe and settled. And I'm just really glad too that home is safe and settled and good, because like my relationship with hubby and the dogs obviously are safe and settled, because there's just the whole thing with the roof. Oh my gosh. The thing with the roof has continued to just become worse and worse and worse. I realized that we've been trying to get the hole in the roof fixed since October, y'all. October. That's insane. That's a third of a year. And it's just escalated now to the point, unfortunately, that it's taken up so much more time than it needed to. And I wish that I wish that everything could just be so much easier and people could just communicate effectively. And I wish that I wish there weren't bad contractors. I wish that people didn't lie. It just bums me out. So I think though, without like getting all mopey, I think that we might all be finally getting onto the same page. I think that the HOA and us and just the whole situation is finally moving in the right direction. And just please, if you're someone who sends good thoughts, good vibes, please send a couple our way. We could really use some to get this stuff just done. I would like this hole to be gone from my ceiling. I don't even like to kind of be in this room right now just because it bums me out. And I would really like to feel like I have ownership of this space back. I get a lot more done when I have a big old office table for diamond painting. If I'm all shoved up on my desk in the other room, it doesn't quite work out as well. So I will keep you posted about the roof, but please, please, please send good vibes and good thoughts and all your good luck our way if you have any to spare. We would love to just get everything finished and settled. So that would be a huge stress reliever too, because it's just been so much energy for so many months and a constant reminder of just something messy. But if those are the two biggest things that's going on right now, I'm pretty grateful. We continue to have the Border 2 fire that has played a big role in our lives since last week. We live pretty far away from it, but it still has been close enough that we've had to keep an eye on it. And the rate of growth on that fire, y'all, was so fast at first. Like, we watched it, and I remember just immediately thinking, like, this is about to be really, really bad. And we have been okay, but there were, I think it was Saturday, like, the AQI was just awful in all of Southern California. We had friends who said that it was raining ash where they lived. We have other friends who live one evacuation zone away from the evacuation zones because they have them in like chunks. So it's been a really big relief to see how much Cal Fire's been able to contain that wildfire. And I just am so grateful for all of the firefighters and all that they do. I cannot imagine how difficult it must be to try and work a wildfire that big, any kind of fire, but particularly a wildfire in the area that Border 2 is. It's pretty gnarly. But Cal Fire did announce this morning that the Border 2 fire was like 74% contained. That was at 6 a.m. I haven't looked at any other data. I am hoping and imagining that it's a much higher number, or at least the same number. We're pretty lucky that it's getting contained so fast. And I have to say, for someone who currently has a leak in my roof, I have never been so excited for rain over the weekend, because I think the rain really did help put that fire down, or at least contributed to firefighters being able to put that fire down. So, huge amount of gratitude that we're okay, that our friends are okay, that things aren't continuing to get worse. But that was the second or third fire where we've known someone who's either been one evacuation zone away or was evacuated, because we had a friend in a fire evacuation zone earlier that week. So just, it's crazy. We're in January, almost February, and we're still in fire season. It just makes my heart a little sad. But it also is a reminder that you have to be prepared all the time. Like, California is also earthquake territory. It's not like we only have wildfires. So, gotta have your stuff ready all the time. I want everyone to be okay. That's all I want. I just want everyone to be okay. I want everyone to get along, and I want everyone to be okay. Like, I feel like somehow that's too much to ask for, ? But in terms of the notable events from last week, kind of on that topic, we all know what major world event happened last week. So I'm not going to talk about it. I'm only going to talk about what's going on in my personal bubble. And I'm going to try and continue to talk about the good things, right? So, like, thing one is finally at 100% again. He's finally fixed. He fixed himself. He's not broken anymore. So he got to go on his first big walk last Monday? Yeah, it's like a week ago. And it was so nice. It was so nice for him. It was great stress release for me, because I hadn't really been out and about. I usually get out and about when I'm walking him. And it was nice because we got to go see some of our Greyhound friends, and we got to go to a big park, and just, it was nice. It was needed. It was necessary. And more than anything, just to see him feeling better, it is such a huge stress reliever to know that, Doggo's doing okay, And that has been a huge source of concern for us, because we weren't sure what was going on. We weren't sure if he had just like a muscle strain, or if he'd hurt his back, if he had something worse going on that we couldn't see. So seeing him back to his normal goober self it's been really, really nice. And thing one really is a dork. So I joke that he has one brain cell. He used to have 3. Now he has 1. He does his best, but he is the kindest, sweetest dog. And, he's a people dog for sure. He thinks he's a people. Thing one thinks he's a people. So I am so grateful. So yeah, it's really nice to have doggo doing better. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday were similar to kind of what I've already talked about. It was juggling work. It was juggling the roof situation. It was juggling self-care, and it was juggling crafting. And I frankly think I've done a pretty okay job. But I really can tell even days later, like what is this, a week, almost a week later in some areas, I can still tell that my body is having like a stress reaction because my joints are super inflamed. That's part of the reason I wanted to change from my pen to my tweezers, is because my hands are really, really inflamed. Like my joints, they're really they're kind of creaky, I guess. So they'll get better. And I think as I get more sleep and as I have better self-care, like, it's bodies have only a few ways they can communicate with us, right? When things are not going great, they can work with us, they can work against us, but at some point they have like a boiling point, right? And they're like, I can't function this way anymore. Please produce less cortisol. I don't know why, but in my head I just like have this like image of a diva going, I can't work like this anymore. But yeah, like, bodies can only go through so much stress before they start to break down. And I am someone who definitely, like, my body, when I have stress, it goes internal, and I get really, really inflamed joints and stuff like that. So I'm very grateful that things are starting to progress on the roof and that I have a good team at work. And I was able to get a different project off my desk today that was, it was a big project, so that was nice. But in regard to last week, like, that's kind of where we were. Friday, I had some medical appointments. Everything is good, but just not really even, like, worth mentioning anything else other than, like, it's all good. Saturday, we had friends over for board games. Sunday, I was on a Zoom call with some friends. So, like, lots going on over the weekend, but, like, lots of little small things. So that was nice. And then, like, almost all of my other time was spent either crafting or sleeping because I took some naps, or a lot of it I actually spent crocheting. I'm really trying to get that granny square blanket, that portal granny square blanket done, and I'm kind of tagging RuneScape in as my second screen activity when I'm crafting. So I spent a ton of time on Friday, Saturday, Sunday out at my other desk playing RuneScape, crocheting, sewing in ends, crocheting. It's an adventure, but that blanket is so close to being done. Everything now is, like, all the columns are sewn together, but all the rows now need to be sewn together. All the ends need to be tied in. I desperately need to get a new yarn needle, but it's just, RuneScape goes so well with a project like diamond painting or something where I can go back to it every few minutes because I don't have to constantly babysit RuneScape. It's a great second screen game, right? That's what it's intended for. But numbers get bigger, brain happy. That's kind of what RuneScape is for me. I like that I get to do the thing. It's the ultimate. It's literally a Skinner box. Like, that's, I think, the definition of a Skinner box. Do a thing, get a reward. So that's RuneScape for you. I like the numbers get bigger aspect of it. But I've been playing it for so long too, and my hubby plays it, so it's just a thing we can do together too and bond with, especially when I can do my own thing separate together with him, if that makes sense. So I'm making really good progress on all the crafts, all the hobbies, all the things. And I am making some progress on duck bath. I'll talk about that more in my end of the month video in a couple days, but right now, I'm just kind of trying to chug along on the projects that are kind of tickling my fancy, because I need to make sure that I'm not burning out with just the limited amount of brain power I have. And minis, again, are really, really good for that, because I can just do a little bit and it's either done or it's more than halfway done, and I can come back to it the next day or later that afternoon and it's all ready to go. Really, really have been enjoying this process. The other thing that I have kind of gotten into is I started getting back into audiobooks, and that's because I just kind of need to have something going on when I'm not playing video games, or I'm not necessarily watching something when I want to have something on in the background. It's really nice for me to have an audiobook on. I find audiobooks to be really calming for my nervous system. I think it's because my mom read to me a lot when I was growing up, and I just kind of tuned into that recently, and I picked up the Wicked audiobook for the first time. I've never read Wicked. I saw it at Pantages. I feel really, really lucky to have seen Wicked at the Pantages Theater many years ago now. I feel like I'm dating myself with that. But I've started listening to the audiobook for the first time, and I know it's supposed to be really intense, but I got completely sucked into it yesterday. I started it yesterday, and then I looked up from diamond painting, and it was 11:45 at night. I had been listening to it for over 3 hours, and I had no idea. And the only reason I turned it off is because I had to get up in the morning. Like, the dogs do not care if I've been listening to an audiobook for an hour, 6 hours, 3 hours, 7 hours. They're getting up when they're getting up. And so, oops, like, I guess that says a lot about how good the book is. The story and the narrator, or audiobook reader, I don't know what you call them, but I'm really, really intrigued by where the story's gonna go. And obviously I know the story, but I don't know the book version. And I didn't see the movie. I have only seen the musical. I've seen the musical twice. And I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how much I enjoy it. If I continue to enjoy it as much as I am now, I'll have it done in a week if I continue to read the book at the pace I'm reading it. And because of that, I kind of need some suggestions from you guys about what to read next, because I discovered Goodreads this week as well. I've been busy. Rather than doom scrolling when I've been exhausted on the couch, I have been busy trying to do some positive life impact stuff. But I've got Goodreads, and I'm trying to branch out with my authors, and I'm going to try and, listen to a bunch of different types of authors this year. But it's really helpful when other people have book suggestions and they've already vetted stuff. You know what I mean? So if you have any suggestions, or you've had books that you've loved, that you have enjoyed over the last years or so, especially if there's audiobooks available, please tell me down in the comments below. Please tell me what you're reading now. Please tell me, like, what has been good for you to listen to. Like, I know that I really want to go through all the Brandon Sanderson books, but I also want to branch out into other authors that maybe I haven't heard of, or different stories and books that I maybe wouldn't necessarily read. I would consider myself like a I don't know. I've read a lot of books, like the Patrick Rothfuss books. I've read comic books over the years. I've started with the Brandon Sanderson, is it library, bibliography? I don't know what the word is, but I don't typically read a lot of like contemporary fiction, and I'd like to stretch myself this year. So if you have anything that you suggest, like, I'd really like to know. I would be absolutely willing to give it a try. Grateful for your input, for sure. Other than that, I think you're caught up. This week, fingers crossed, we're going to get the leaky roof situation at least dealt with. I think it'll probably be several months before everything is repaired, just because that's how it works when you're dealing with management companies and HOAs and all that stuff. But once it's all finally dealt with and settled, I think it'll just be like, it'll be nice. Hopefully it won't be something else. There's always something else, but hopefully it's not something else for a little while. Saturday, like, I'm just trying to think. I'm looking at the calendar. Saturday, finally going to go get my hair cut this next weekend. Our hairdresser kept getting sick, so it's just been like a lot of hit or miss in terms of being able to get hair appointments over the last years because she gets sick all the time. But that'll be like February 1st when we go. Saturday is February 1st. Let me just like put that into context, right? We are at the end of the month. Friday is the end of the month. And that kind of breaks my brain. Also, it appears that I can no longer grab drills. So I'm feeling like maybe that's my sign from the universe. I'm supposed to be stopping what I'm doing. I have no idea what this is right now. I don't even think I said what category this is. So I'm actually going to have a little fun with this. Tell me what you think this mystery canvas is down in the comments below. Whether it's the category or the actual canvas, let me know what you think it is down in the comments below. And if you're right, I'll let you know. In the meantime, as always, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're taking care of yourself. I hope you're staying safe. If you haven't already, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. Welcome to the family if you're new. Please leave your book recommendations. Let me know what you're working on, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.